Scott, after watching the film, how close do you think you guys are right now?
Depends on what you're asking, how close we are to what. To winning?
Yeah.
We've been really close a bunch of times. We left a lot of stuff on the field offensively, particularly early on, because of little mistakes or penalties. Even defensively, there were some plays out there to be made. We just didn't make them. It doesn't take very many of those to turn it around. There's no question we got better this week. I think the attitude got better, the practice got better, and the performance was better. I was thrilled that we didn't have any of those dumb things, dumb penalties, selfish plays that contributed to it. It's just a matter of finding guys and getting guys that can make the one or two more plays that'll put us in position.
Scott, how has Adrian progressed since the start of the season to right now?
Well, you guys are seeing it. Yeah, that's his fourth start in a long time. He gets better every week. I think his pocket presence got better. I think he started to create both second halves the last 2 weeks. I thought he came out and ran, and other team had trouble tackling him. I'd like to see that start a little earlier in the game. He still had some freshman things the other day. A couple balls that if he'd have been in the right place with his eyes would have gotten us even more plays. We kind of got lucky that he didn't throw a couple picks. Wisconsin didn't catch him. So there's still some things like that happening, but kind of what I said after the game, he's going to be special. And we knew we'd have to live through some of that playing a freshman quarterback, and that hasn't really been what's hurt us. He's done enough for us to win, and I think he's just going to keep getting better.
Where are you at running back after the first two? After Zigbo and Washington.
Feel great about those two. The game that Zigbo had 2 games ago. I think people probably got a glimpse of what we've been seeing a long time from Mo in that game and how explosive he can be. Wyatt Mazur is a guy we trust. I'm ready to put him in a game at any time. Mikael Wilbon's been practicing well and doing everything right, so if he gets called, I know he's going to be ready. That's plenty to get through the last half of the season here.
How have you seen Northwestern have to kind of change what they do with that injury? They Larkin, the running back, when he retired from football, I mean, they're not running the ball obviously near as much as they were before.
Yeah, first of all, you guys hear me say it. I got a ton of respect for Coach Fitzgerald. He's one of the good guys in this business. I feel terrible anytime somebody that loves to play the game has to hang it up. But we had a running back that's talented that had to do that earlier in the year. Larkin helped make them what they were. It's a shame that anybody has something like that happens that has to end a career early. It certainly changed him. I don't know how much of it in the last game was not having him and how much was playing Michigan State, who's really good against the run. But their rushing totals went way down, both attempts and yardage, and probably had as much to do with Michigan State as anything, but they found a way to get it done throwing, and I think time will tell how much their scheme's going to change based on not having him.
On the depth chart, you've got Wyatt and Miles Jones as in the slot behind JD this week. Are those, do you feel like you can play those guys either in that spot or in the
Those guys are coming along for different reasons. Wyatt spent most of his time at running back, so getting him functional and knowing all the little nuances of what to do in the slot takes a while. Miles is a freshman. He's been really close. He continues to get better and practice well, and he's getting close to being ready to get out there and have a chance to make plays. So both those guys can do it. I know Cade Warner can play all three spots for us if we need him in there. Todd Honus is a guy that's been practicing well for us and may eventually get some reps at that spot too.
Going back to the running back, where does Jalen Bradley fit into that picture?
Right now, I suppose fifth.
You made a change at punter this week on the depth chart. What did you like about what Isaac Armstrong did in those two punts on Saturday?
Well, Isaac punted it where he was supposed to punt it. The first one was a moon shot. The other one landed 40-some yards downfield on the sideline. We had a punt return against Troy that they scored on that probably cost us the game. Another one against Michigan. We fell down on a punt against Purdue. And twice when the game was Still competitive Saturday. We punted one right down the middle of the field, 35 yards. They returned it to the 50 and then shanked one out of bounds, and they got the ball on the 50. We're not good enough to survive those types of things. So as of now, Isaac has done well, and we're going to count on him to do what we're asking him to do.
Is there anything different with his left footer?
Not really. The ball's going to be spinning the opposite direction. It's like you're in the southern hemisphere.
How would you rank JD and Stanley in terms of a duo in the Big Ten and maybe even nationally with those two guys?
Yeah, I don't want to speculate on where they stack up against anybody else. I just know I'm glad we have them. Those two are warriors. They're going to go battle. When we call those guys numbers, they make plays. They're where they're supposed to be. They're open. It's been amazing to me, both those guys, JD in particular. You know, we had a lot of good scheme for him in the past game, and when we called his number, he made a play. And you know, it's so encouraging to me. We got a freshman quarterback that's making plays. We got a freshman running back that's making plays. Jack Stoll had a touchdown. He's a sophomore. The other two guys behind him are young. Our two tackles are sophomores. JD's a sophomore. A lot of the pieces that we need are growing, improving, getting better, and from an offensive standpoint, we continue to improve, and I think the future is really bright.
Have you guys been talking more about what you want to do with Cameron Jurgens, since he's a guy who can probably fit in a bunch of different spots?
Yeah, I mentioned something to Kugler the other day about our plans for him. Yeah, first of all, anybody that threw the shot put farther than I did, I have a special place in my heart for. Cam's a unique athlete. When we recruited him, we didn't know what he was for sure, whether he was a tight end or a defensive lineman or something else. After evaluating him for a while, he's as physical and as good a blocker about as we have on our football team. And I really think he's got a potential to be a really good player on the offensive line, either at center or guard. And I think he's bought into that and starting to try to put on good weight instead of losing weight. And he's another young player that I think has a chance to be really good around here.
What's he working at now? Is he already mixing in there?
He's doing both right now. We still may use him some this year at tight end, but in order to be ready down the road, I think it's important that he gets some looks at it and some meeting time. So he's a smart enough guy to know a bunch of things, and yeah, he's just an exceptional athlete, exceptionally explosive athlete, and I just think after watching him for a while that his body type fits that. I can't wait to see what he can do.
He embraced it though, and some guys don't want to make that move with the O-line if they're used to getting the ball thrown to him and stuff. Has he embraced that idea of doing this?
Yeah, I think he has. You know, we have some young tight ends that right now he's behind, and not saying he couldn't catch them, but those guys are improving and playing well. I think he sees an opportunity at that spot. Ironically, my mother threw against her mother a bunch, so that relationship with them goes back a long way, and I just kind of look at him, see what he could become, and I'm hopeful that he could be what I think he can be.
You like the picture there with Will? I know Will Farniak is a guy that you like too. He's kind of redshirt this year. You like the picture of what your interior line might be in a couple years?
Yeah, Will's doing good things too. So the great thing, our offense, center and guard are kind of interchangeable. You see that with Tanner Farmer right now moving inside. When Cole was hurt, Bo Wilson's come in. I think he gave us a boost the other day. You have to know both if you're going to play one, and you certainly can never have too many.
Scott, JD doesn't talk with us a whole lot. Can you just provide some insight? What's he like day to day in practice? He had some fire to him after the game.
Yeah, JD doesn't talk to us a whole lot either. You know, it's funny with JD. Through spring, he was kind of hurt, and then through fall camp, he was a little tentative. Maybe wasn't our best practice player through fall camp. And I started to get a little concerned because I'd heard so many good things about JD. About 2 weeks before the first game, I think it clicked for him with our offense, and he just completely changed and started being dominant on the practice field. And boy, he's been a playmaker for us. Like I said, every time we call his number, he seems to figure out a way to get it done. And we need a bunch more guys like him, but I've been so happy for him with the success that he's had.
Scott, I know you guys are in the throes of your season, but if you had a chance to talk to Chip Kelly, both you guys kind of sitting in the same spot record-wise, is there any conversation between you two?
No, you know, Chip's kind of like JD. I don't talk to him much. I text with Chip once in a while. I'm sure Chip had a lot of things to fix and a lot of changes to make, and probably culture to fix and recruiting to fix, and you know, he didn't all of a sudden not become a bad coach. I just got no doubt that he'll get that thing where he wants to get it. You know, the first time he got a head coaching job, he took over, and I got there 2 months later. We had a stacked team. We had some really good players in 2009 and won the Pac-12, but he took over a team that was largely built because of the good things that Mike Bellotti started at Oregon. We had a bunch of good players at almost every position. I don't think that's the situation that he walked into this time. So that it's more of a rebuild than a come in and capitalize on something that somebody else has already built. But Chip's a phenomenal coach. I have no doubt he'll get it done.
Does he text anything back to you about your situation here?
No, I think both of us are just in the bunker fighting the good fight and doing everything we possibly can. So when we come up for air, I'm sure one of us will reach out to the other.
Why has your offense and defense both struggled on third down, and how do you think you can change it?
Offensively, I think a lot of it is youth. We had some chances on third down the other day, and I've said this before, but you have to execute precisely to make plays work, even more so in the red zone, even more so on third down. We had some things that were there, and we didn't execute them. You know, defensively, again, we had a couple times where somebody was covering the guy that they threw to and just didn't cover him well enough. The big play was had a chance to sack their quarterback on a third down and didn't get him down and completed a 20-yard ball. And the margin for error is always thin, but on those plays when it really matters, it's even thinner. And the good thing is I didn't see any of the quarterback escaping and running plays because we were in the wrong rush lanes. I didn't see a bad penalty on third and long. Those things have really hurt our percentages too.
This will be the only time you guys play on grass all year. Do you guys grow the grass a little longer and try to practice outside more to get used to the surface this week?
Yeah, we took the pads off them today, and that's not something we always like to do, but we're pretty beat up. You know, not with major injuries, just the guys have been through a lot and a grind. The next 2 days we're going to be out on our grass, and we haven't mowed it since last Thursday. So we're going to try to get them ready for the environment they're going to be in.
You touched on it a little bit maybe on Saturday, but are you getting to the point where you're thin inside linebacker, or is that one spot where you're thin?
Yeah, we're thin in a few places. Inside linebacker, definitely. You know, Honus getting hurt, Will Honus getting hurt breaks my heart because he cares so much. You know, Mo is a warrior. He's battling, but he's grinding down a little bit. We got to get him back feeling good. Dedrick Young left the game the other day. That really leaves us with Colin Miller and Jacob Weinmaster. So we knew depth was going to be an issue at certain spots, and you never know where you're going to get a couple people nicked up, but we weren't super deep at that position to begin with, and got to do everything we can to get our guys healthy.
Did that just affect the play in Wisconsin, or the cumulative effect of 5 games without a break?
Well, the Will Honus injury is just unfortunate. He just planted wrong on a play against Purdue. I think the other ones are just more cumulative effect of a bunch of hits and those guys having to shoulder a lot of tackles and a lot of reps.
Scott, with Adrian, can you compare what he's been doing? Does that remind you of anybody else that you've seen at that position, or is he doing things that are kind of unique to who he is?
I told you guys I'm always careful and make comparisons, but he's doing some things like quite a few of the special guys that I've been around. There's no way I would have been ready to do what he's doing right now as an 18-year-old. It says a lot about who he is as a person.
Travis Fisher said he doesn't particularly like to rotate corners, but do you like the competition maybe that is being fostered by playing Eric and Warren and Cam on the outside?
Yeah, more depth would be great. More competition's great. When you got more good players, they got to fight their way onto the field. At times, Lamar's done some really good things. Eric Lee's done some good things. I thought Cam Taylor came in and broke on a ball and made a nice play, which we haven't seen enough of this year. Came up and made a nice hit. There's guys on defense that are young that I'm really excited about too, and he's one of them. So all those guys are going to have to play well this week. Northwestern does a really good job with their passing game, and you know, it's not too many more of those plays to get over the hump. It's just another guy breaking on a ball and breaking up a pass. It's a guy getting a sack and forcing a team to punt. It's not getting a penalty on offense and finishing a drive. We just need more guys to step up and make plays. We had a lot of chances the other day offensively, a lot of guys in position to make plays on defense and get us the ball back, and just didn't make them. So those guys are all going to get their chance this week.
Scott, do you think that the penalty thing, do you think teams, maybe not necessarily you in particular, but teams will get a reputation and that lends itself to even more penalties? Or is it just a kind of a thing that you deserve everyone to get? I'm
not sure, and I'm never going to comment much on that, other than we deserve a lot of the ones we got. We deserve the ones that were dumb decisions and selfish decisions. There was a few the other day we got, particularly on the offensive line. Our feet just weren't right. We didn't move our feet, and then when the guy's about to beat you, he's either going to beat you or you grab him. Getting better at those positions, getting better with technique will continue to help us with that. You know, I'm frustrated that we rank so low in penalties, and you know, going back running this offense, we've always been a little more penalized, probably because we run at such a pace. We run so many more plays. There's so much space. We've been good enough to overcome the ones we got, but we've been getting too many, and we're nowhere near good enough to overcome it at the same rate.
Scott, Northwestern's quarterback, he's been starting to play well. What do you know of Clayton Thorson, and how do you evaluate this game?
He's fun to watch. He's a gamer and looks like somebody that's reliable, you can count on, makes plays when you need him. Don't know him personally, but he seems to embody what it means to be a student athlete. So, you know, I love the program that Pat runs, and I'm sure his quarterback is a reflection of that.
You made a comment on your football show that you felt like there was kind of a light around the program, a lightness around the program last week. Do you feel like you guys have stabilized after a really chaotic month of change and games getting canceled, quarterbacks getting hurt? Do you feel like there's a stability over the last 4 or 5 days?
Something's changed. It really changed after the Purdue game. Changed even more last week. I saw guys bonding together, having fun out there. Everybody kind of excited to go to battle. I think getting to that turning point where the team wasn't going to put up with any more of the culture killers, and we're going to become culture keepers and culture promoters. I see that happening. I see the guys excited that they're getting better. I see the guys excited that they're moving forward. Sometimes you got to lose a couple guys to get to that point. Sometimes you got to maybe bench a couple guys to get to that point. Whatever it takes for the guys to understand. But the thing that made them understand the most was losing, you know, really 3 games because of self-inflicted things. And yeah, the whole attitude of everybody around here, I feel like we finally turned the corner.